Played it 3 times in team fights. He is amazing at this champion, and I think that if you can grab it for him, you try to get him on it.
Yeah, on the flip side, if the Ryze is left up, you got to think Jiizuke is going to be taking that. We saw the 1v2 outplay. The guy's a monster on a lot of things, but Ryze is definitely one of them. So ROCCAT, after all the bans coming through, they're going to get there first. They actually opt to take the Ryze side themselves.
Now, Jiizuke did have one Azir game himself, so I'm sure that he's more than happy to draft that one. Will mean that Vitality will have the aspect of scaling on their side, and they're going to round their first half of the draft with the Jarvan. Gilius' most played jungler so far, offers engage, offers early pressure, and it feels like we're just seeing a lot of standard meta picks right now for the side of ROCCAT in terms of the Ryze and Sejuani.
Yeah, well, Sejuani, Memento's only had 1 game on, though. Remember, this guy's played like 6 different junglers in 6 different games, so now he finally gets the second one. Sejuani comes in. Wouldn't be surprised. Everyone's been talking about it. Step 1, pick Gnar. Step 2, you don't know. And step 3, profit. And he locks
Hurt, Pyra. That hurt. But you're right. You definitely want to get profit on this Gnar because it is a big comfort pick for the mid laner. Now the question is, will Vitality lock themselves a top laner, perhaps grab themselves the Jace here, which is considered a very good matchup into the Gnar, or they try to early prioritize something like the Caitlyn, one of Minitroupax's comfort AD carries, and something that he's had a lot of success in. Oh, my apologies, it's already been banned away, so instead their priority is going to be up in the top lane.
All right, so it's the Gangplank. I like this one too. I feel like Cabochard is a player that will kind of lock some like crazy, unconventional top laners and then just get completely wrecked. But Gangplank feels like a fairly safe choice up against the Gnar because he can offer so much wave clear.
I mean, usually during the laning phase, you're going to get punished really hard. And the issue that Vitality have right now is that during the early laning phase, Gnar will have pressure, Ryze will have pressure. So Vitality, they don't have that many pushing lanes drafted for themselves. So they're going to need to get themselves a strong AD carry. Something like a Varus, I think, could work well here, give you a lot of lane power. Tristana is another one that can offer strong pushing potential, but having 3 losing lanes in the early game when running a champion like a Jarvan could pose to hurt them, especially when you're playing against an early playmaker in the form of Ryze, who's going to look to use his ultimate to try and find plays in the side lane.
That's a good point. So ROCCAT, they might be the ones getting the better of this draft. Now, as we enter the second phase of bans, a couple of supports are taking away the Thresh, but also the Blitzcrank. Vitality have 1 more left before they give it back over to ROCCAT. What do they opt to ban here?
Now, why would you be banning a Blitzcrank? To me, that says that you're actually interested in picking something like a range disengage support, perhaps a Lulu or a Janna. Because typically, melee supports, which are the flavor of the month right now, do very well into a champion like Blitzcrank. So that implies to me that Vitality have something prepared for the bottom lane, with Jinx being available. If they want to go for full scaling team fight style, that could be the direction that Vitality go.
All right, so ROCCAT opt to ban the Janna now. So in the last couple of bans, we had 3 out of 4 of them being supports. Vitality still need to flesh out their bottom lane, and so does ROCCAT. Who's going to grab what? Minitroupax. You mentioned the Varus, and it's locked. So they get themselves a real long-range AD carry.
So now what are ROCCAT missing? They need to pick up their bot lane too. The safest one would be a Tristana Braum. That would be the most meta, would offer a form of disengage too, and it would be one of Norskeren's most played supports. But do they want a little bit more disengage? They want a little bit, or engage, they want a little bit more damage. Looks like they're going to go for the follow-up in terms of the mid-game spike. Going to pair things up with the Ezreal and Ryze, which means that around the 20 to 25 minute, you'll see this team start to be super proactive. Ezreal hits a really strong spike once he gets his 2 items, and Ryze is a very similar champion that can look to punish things like the Gangplank and like the Azir, who take a little while longer to ramp up.
Yep, and Norskeren back on a comfort champion. Braum, he locks it in for the 5th time this split. And now it's over to Jacktroll. The final question we have remaining, what support is Team Vitality going to go with? Tough question.
Yeah, because I mean, you're looking at things like with Time Kench banned away. Oh, Taric, of course. Taric would make the most sense. He is the anti-team fighter, does well into the Braum too. We saw it last game from H2K. Was effective at dissuading some of the fights that Splice tried to start off. But this time around, it's very much a scaling matter for the side of Team Vitality. They have a lot of damage over time champions. Varus with the Rage Blade, his damage really kicks in once he's got the full stacks. And same for Azir. He doesn't have huge burst damage. His soldiers need to be hitting over time. So they want these extended kind of team fights in the late game, especially with a Gangplank who has time to set up his barrels and then get those big crits off.
Yeah, a lot of early game, but or a lot of late game, I should say. But you mentioned on the flip side, the early game, the early pressure that ROCCAT can bring out. They haven't been all that great at bringing the pressure early on, but they have the tools to do it this time.
Well, it's interesting because last week, they actually showed a lot of promise in terms of their early game prowess. The issue was translating that early game advantage into an effective mid game. And with this composition, it's not really about snowballing in the very early game. It's about utilizing the spike advantage that you'll have in the mid-game portion. With the Ryze, with the Ezreal, along with the Gnar too, you're going to be you should be stronger in terms of fighting and skirmishing at that point in the game than the composition from the side of Vitality. So ROCCAT, the onus isn't on them to get a very early lead, but we do need to see them being proactive once they hit those spikes.
Yeah. Now critically, where ROCCAT really have succeeded in the proactive game overall has been that 20-25 minute mark. They just seem to kind of be ready at that point. Maybe they're warming up before it all happens, but that's when we've seen ROCCAT win games. For Vitality, they're putting a lot of eggs in the scaling basket. We've seen this team get going often and early, so it seems like they're mixing things up a little bit. We'll find out who's going to reign supreme, but I think the early game will definitely tell a little bit here as we get on to Summoner's Rift. ROCCAT and Vitality loading up. The crowd has the wrong team.
Yeah, they're in the wrong region. VIT, I imagine, should be getting their own chance soon. These guys,
you would think.
They're definitely starting to build a pretty significant fan base based on their play style. But for both these teams, you can see the records at the top of your screen. 5-1 Vitality. Definitely not what many initial analysts predicted. Many people thought maybe middle of the pack contender for playoffs, but to come in at the start of the season with an extremely dominant record, sole position of first place, definitely a shocker to me.
Yeah, they can keep it locked up for at least another day with a win here today. And for Vitality, I mean, that could easily be a 6-0, right? Like, that was one Baron throw that really lost them the game against Misfits. It's such a tall order for ROCCAT to try and take these guys on, but keep in mind, ROCCAT have surprised a lot of expectations as well. A lot of people, myself included, had them put towards the bottom of the standings. Right now, they're smack dab in the middle at 3-3.
It feels like that they identified the meta very quickly, similar strategy to Giants, and were able to effectively take advantage of it. One of the big things that we did see from this team was how coming into the mid to late game, that's when they really start to be proactive. Their plays around the Baron have also been very impressive. But in the early game, at least for the first few weeks, ROCCAT were not that active. Last week, we saw them try a couple of unique compositions where we saw the Camille and the Galio duo. We've seen them try to play much more forward with some of their drafting, where they tried to go for sneaky invades. They tried to gank a little bit more, but it just didn't pan out in week 3. Now, again, they're not focusing on the early game. They're very much about playing this mid game. They're not going for the full late game that they have done in the past. So what's going to be interesting about ROCCAT this game is how well they can utilize those mid-game spikes that they will be building for themselves with this comp.
By the way, some shenanigans have been happening while we've been talking about this one. They kind of had a fake blue attempt down bottom with Minitroupax and Jacktroll, and Gilius stole away the blue from Memento. He's going to be in for a nasty surprise.
There's only a level 2 Gilius.
He's going to fight him. Oh my god, he goes over the wall. Oh, I love this Gilius. Forget the scaling. It's jungling on jungling action. Memento's going to have to limp away. Gilius. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, he didn't have the slow from his W and didn't feel confident enough to continue on with the chase, but that's going to force Memento out of the jungle. Unfortunately for Gilius, he's still only level 2. We'll get a successful blue invade off, but they will now know where Gilius is heading. Like the proactivity, but this is exactly what we expect from the Vitality roster. These guys are not about the late game. Even though we've seen them play it, it has been so far and few between, simply due to how proactive they are in the early game.
It's in the Vitality, woven into the Vitality DNA at this point. And honestly, I think you can kind of compare the way that these teams' early games tend to have gone. Vitality, they just are able to secure so many kills. Now, you look at that first line, like, oh yeah, teams are on board, but then you look at the kills versus the deaths, and you see why.
And that's exactly that. Vitality as a team love to get a lot of early kills. They sit atop every other team in the EU LCS, whereas ROCCAT not quite that active. They've seen a few opportunities, but not really. But this could change as ROCCAT look for a gank in mid.
Memento, oh, he dashes, and Jiizuke just narrowly catches the avoidance here. Let's see if they get the damage. He's going to be able to get out a cleanse and a slide. Back to base he goes without losing his life this time around.
That was actually an extremely well-timed route there from Blanc, because he recognized Jiizuke would use the cleanse just as the stun came down from Memento. So Blanc timed his W to come just after the cleanse happened so that he would still lock down Jiizuke. But the thing about cleanse is it reduces the duration of CC following, which means that he wasn't rooted down long enough in order for him to die. So ROCCAT, they aren't able to find any early kill, but this is the early proactiveness that we said we saw from ROCCAT last week. This team does like to try and make these plays happen, and it's interesting that we're again seeing investment from Memento towards the middle lane on Blanc.
Yeah, and I think it makes a lot of sense to put it on Blanc, and we talked up Jiizuke like hugely because he's such a star on this team, but Blanc has also been performing very well as far as the rest on ROCCAT are concerned. There's a bit of a scuffle down towards the bottom side, so okay, though Norskeren's blocking it out.
Yeah, you talked about Blanc, and him going up against Jiizuke is definitely an interesting matchup because Blanc, he did spend a lot of time in the Challenger Series playing for PSG. He was one of those players who might not have time as a bit more of a skirmish happens.
Yeah, we want to go back to the mid lane, but we can't before the bottom is already happening. Heaq's got to flash away. Burns his heal as well. Let's see if he can limp back to his safety of his tower. Looks like he can't. Heaq's got to be careful. That all-in potential, Vitality are not done with it just yet because Gilius is going to hop the wall. Heaq knows he could be in mortal danger. Norskeren trying to get the block on. Gilius is still hanging around here. There's a teleport. Oh, it's up to the top. I thought it was going bot. I thought Vitality are just going to fight all the time, and they clearly have that idea in their heads, but not enough to get the first blood here.
Gilius delays the back, though, which means that the minion wave will hit the tower and will give Minitroupax and Jacktroll a slight experience advantage, along with a bit of a gold lead as he goes back to pick up the pickaxe versus the tier on Heaq, which always feels bad on the Ezreal.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure you have a little bit more damage to work with, but okay, let's talk about the mid lane again. We finally have a little bit settled down.
No, you want to look at Prophet.
Now you want to look at that. You're right, he gets the scoop back. Never mind. Cabochard. He's going to avoid some damage here. He does trade back, but level 5 v level 6, he just can't do it.
The game doesn't want us to talk about the middle.
You know, you're right. Let's just forget about it. Let's talk about sidelines this game.
Let's talk a little bit more about Cabo and Prophet, because Prophet, you heard Freeze on the analyst desk say, you can't really afford to give this man Gnar. He is pretty good at building up CS advantages during the laning phase, and in terms of team fights, he's definitely had a lot of impact on this champion. It's one of his big comfort picks, and playing it into a Gangplank is just, it's a free lane for the Gnar, really. There's very little that the Gangplank can do about it. Every time he tries to put a barrel down, it gets cleared out due to the range advantage. You're constantly taking harassment. You always have to save your oranges on the Gangplank in order to avoid the potential getting stunned up. And it's going to be a struggle during the laning phase for the side of Cabo.
Especially if Memento is going to be stealing away some of this jungle and making a route up towards that top. You mentioned it, pushing lanes, pressure in the lanes, in the mid and in the top. Or let's see if there's any more, because we can see Vitality. They're getting the push on down bottom instead. A lot of that's just the aggression of Minitroupax and Jacktroll being able to force Heaq and Norskeren back. And you mentioned that inopportune back timing.
You know, Pyra, you just pointed out to me, you recognize the Relic Shield on the Gangplank too. It's basically just an extra tool to generate gold. He is running the Kleptomancy, which was nerfed on patch 8.2, and this just basically helps facilitate that. It gives you a lot extra gold, helps you reach those power spikes sooner, and do the natural harassment that you will throw out on the Gangplank. It's basically just a gold machine for him.
Speaking of harassment, okay, Memento's coming in for the dive here. Let's see if the barrels are going to get cleared away. No, not just yet. Prophet still making Cabochard's life a little bit more difficult than it was before. Blanc, it's the gold for a second. Might have been a misclick on that one.
Definitely a misclick. That is a big waste. I heard Jiizuke laughing on stage, and I was a little bit curious as to why, and that explains it.
Now you know.
Now you know.
All right. So that we got to pause. I wouldn't be too surprised if it relates to that.
It may very well do. I don't think that he was expecting to use his stopwatch. Definitely be a big blunder. He is running the minion dematerializer, so I thought that maybe he had misclicked the minion dematerializer with the stopwatch, or maybe even misclicked his refillable potion, but it perhaps is another issue. So we'll find that out very quickly. We'll be able to resolve it relatively soon.
Okay, but in the meantime, we had a fair bit of action, right? We had kind of a lot of back and forth attempts, but
no kills yet.
First blood just yet. That's the critical thing. And while Vitality built this kind of scaling composition, as you rightly point out, there's so much action, there's so much aggression from this team. They can kind of hit the go button any time. And as we highlighted, it hasn't really been ROCCAT's forte to be able to answer that aggression super early on. On paper, what even gets worse for these guys is that Vitality are kind of like their kryptonite, at least in the way they like to play.
Yeah, you would imagine that for ROCCAT, Vitality is the worst possible matchup for them, because Vitality is a team that the moment you get 5 minutes into the game, they're already trying to make plays. They're already trying to be proactive. They're trying to snowball any kind of early lead. And unfortunately, for them, is they've gone and drafted themselves a bit more of a scaling composition. And sure, you could argue that, is that really unfortunate? Well, no, it just means that they have to play more towards the late game. And for ROCCAT, for them, it's very much about mid-game onwards. So they're not, the onus isn't on them to get an early lead and quickly snowball. You're just looking at this composition and you're sitting there thinking, okay, they have a bit of a timer on them. Varus, in terms of the late game damage output, he will have a lot more teamfight value than an Ezreal will. The Azir is going to do exactly the same when going up against Ryze, and the Gangplank, well, it's Critplank. He's Bankplank. He's basically the dude that you want in the late game because of the amount of damage that he can do. So Vitality have two options. Number one, snowball an insane early lead and get to late game much faster than you typically would. Or two, just stall things out, be patient, and wait to get to that late game point.
All right, looks like we're getting back into game. It was a quick peripheral issue on Blanc, but it's all been solved, so we're back into League of Legends for the time being. Let's see, there's some action going on down bottom. I mean, these guys just don't stop at all. No taking any breaks. Jacktroll getting punished a little bit. Gilius not entirely sure if he wants to dive or take the Krugs.
TP is available on Prophet, which means that if a dive does so happen, they can quickly respond, but I don't like the positioning of Memento right now, especially with Jiizuke already making his way down. ROCCAT, they have the Ryze ultimate. Let's see if they can answer this potential dive coming out.
Okay, Gilius getting stunned. Norskeren fully aware of the three members, but does he know about the Azir? This tower getting chunked down. Not a lot of minion support here, so the Azir makes the moves, but he's actually got to back away. They can't really affect the dive right now. Gilius seeing if they can maybe bait Norskeren or Heaq into fully committing, but they can't do it.
So no dive happens. Vitality decide to avoid the risk. Memento hanging around the river and will set his eyes on the Scuttle Crab and say, look, stop trying to dive my bottom lane. They're already at a deficit. He's a tier Ezreal. Just please leave him alone. He just wants to farm a little bit.
It's definitely not Vitality's game plan is to allow it. But things have definitely settled down a little bit. We're starting to see a couple of the items come into play. Not fully completed just yet. There's a stinger sitting for Jiizuke, so he's going to get a little faster than he was before as he gets the blue buff handed over to him in just a few moments. I do want to talk about the mid laners once again, though. We didn't get a chance to because we focused on the top lane, we focused on the bot because of all the action that was happening. But when you compare what Jiizuke has been able to do, like he kind of does stand alone, but Blanc is actually doing pretty good himself.
Yeah, these two mid laners are heavily involved in a lot of the early action that happens for both these teams. 100% kill participation for Blanc, 92.9 for Jiizuke. And that just speaks to how reliant both these teams are on the success and performance of these two individuals. The biggest difference, as you can see, during the actual laning phase of CSD, Jiizuke has been so dominant over so many of his lane opponents, whereas Blanc has mainly just gone even. And the biggest difference is Jiizuke builds his own leads, whereas Blanc often works with Memento in order to find those advantages.
Yeah, Jiizuke is a self-made CSer. Let's see what Gilius ends up doing as he runs into Memento. Has to flag and drag away. This time, turnabout's fair play. Memento wants to get some revenge from earlier on. He could be in danger of getting sandwiched. That's nearly a full Gnar bar. Oh, the Cataclysm and hop over. Back up. Nicely played by Gilius. Cover his escape was Cabochard.
Decides to play it safe. He recognizes the Prophet was about to hit Mega Gnar and didn't want to run the risk of getting double ulted.
That was some Super Mario level stuff, dude.
And just bouncing on the head of his opponent. Able to dash out of that one. Still level 6, but will now lose some of his jungle. But look at the Ryze. Here we are. This is the kind of plays we wanted to be seeing from ROCCAT. Can they find an opportunity?
Memento, a little preoccupied on the Krugs. Looks to chase Gilius back away. And it's been the game of counter jungling. Smite fights all around. Blanc decides not to go in. Not fully committing. Jiizuke was hot on his heels as well. So once again, a lot of attempts, but no kills at 11 minutes into this game. The lead, a measly 200 gold in favor of ROCCAT. There's been a lot of back and forth here, Vedius.
Yeah, really hoping to see a top lane dive from the side of ROCCAT, but it's very difficult given Gilius is hanging around. And TP play up into the top lane from Minitroupax. This was something that we saw from Vitality last week, and something that we've been seeing from them pretty consistently throughout the EU LCS, their innovation and creative strategies. Minitroupax running the Unsealed Spellbook, TP's up to the top lane, and last week they were able to use this against Schalke to rush down a very early tower and then just snowball the game. This time though, they're using it to not lose tempo. You can see that Cabochard, he wanted to go back to base, he's picked up a couple of extra items, and he's immediately TP'd down to the bottom lane in order to catch this wave and allow both Troupax and Jacktroll to just continue pushing up top, which means that no early tower will now go down for Vitality, and they're going to be able to slow down any of these early leads that ROCCAT are trying to build.
Nicely done for Vitality. Still all about that scaling, so they're looking quite good considering they're not losing a moment at all. Still no first blood coming in. Jiizuke trying to dodge away from the True Shot barrage coming from downtown, courtesy of Heaq. And now the full swap as Troupax and Jacktroll taking their places proper this time up towards the top side to catch the wave. Prophet also solo pushing down, and towers are being chipped away all across the board here. We're starting to see some more of these items come in. Big item spike for the GP. Cabochard goes back and picks up his Trinity Force.
And the Rage Blade for Minitroupax, another big item spike for the side of Vitality. So, both the bottom lane and top still applies even if they've swapped. Will feel pretty strong right now and would not be afraid of forcing fights, especially into an Ezreal that only has the Sheen. It's the two items where they have to show a little bit more respect towards their opposition. But Jiizuke completing that Nash's Tooth means that he's also going to be pretty strong himself. Now Gilius starting off this Rift Heralds could be a little dangerous.
Might see a fight around this one. Gilius might have to back out. He's just getting chunked out. All right, Heaq Norskeren successfully force him off, and the rest of the team is looking to arrive. No, they're not going to fully commit. Gilius is going to go back in. No. Okay. I thought he might have missed that vision for a second, but no, he knows what's up.
Wants the blue. Setting up some deep vision. Blanc knows he's here. He says, no, that's mine. But I don't think there's much you can do about it, given that Troupax and Jacktroll are heading bottom. Again, Heaq doesn't really want to fight at this point in the game. Remember, he's only sitting on the Sheen, and they will end up stealing away the blue buff. Can ROCCAT find a collapse?
Thinking about it, Jacktroll does take Winter's Bite to the face, flag and drag. Gilius gets a little extra damage onto Norskeren. Red buff slowing him down. It does seem like Gilius has gotten the better Memento so far, but the latter has been able to punish him just a little bit. Cabochard, his wave clear starting to come in, but he's got to be careful. Blanc was coming around the side, looking to dive on top of him.
But that was a good barrel there from Cabo to very quickly clear out the wave. Blanc yet to find a play with his ultimate, but there's still enough time for them. Already completed the Abyssal Mask.
Here's Memento as well. Braum's not in position, though. Nobody seems to want to go for those all-in plays.
Patience, Spyro. I know we want action. And typically from Vitality you would expect it, but as we talked about, their composition does not need it. They know they will outscale, so they're playing the waiting game. The onus is on ROCCAT to try and make plays happen. They built a solid lead up in the top. They've got a bit of a lead in mid. Slight deficit for the Ezreal against the Varus. But that is just due to the item spike. Now that he's got the Iceborne Gauntlets, that Ezreal going to be feeling a little happier. He's just going to want to make sure that he can upgrade the tier and complete that Mana Mune. So then he has a nice mid-game spike.
Of course, there are also a couple of deceptive numbers on there. You see that big CS difference between the Gnar and the Gangplank? Just checking on the gold. Cabochard's got 300 gold lead. That's kleptomancy for you.
And when you combine it with the Relic Shield too, even though you're at a deficit, you're still holding even in the gold. And that's the thing about Gangplank, man. That's why teams are still running him. Even with the nerfs to Klepto, it's considered an effective way to just hold your own in a losing match.
Yeah, you can survive. So far, everyone has survived in this game. We're at the 15-minute mark, no first blood. A very rare situation for Vitality to be in. But as you pointed out, it's all about that scaling. Get themselves in the late game. And they got some pretty nasty damage if the fights just keep on going. And there haven't been any, like... Well, first off, we've only seen a Cloud Dragon. So no Oceans means you're not going to get all that crazy sustain as much as you possibly could. There are only a handful of tanks on the side of ROCCAT. Situational tank Prophet, right? But then you've got Norskeren Memento. Memento's going to be the one building the Warmogs. That's a lot of damage that Vitality can get in as this game goes on.
That's very true. We're just waiting for that big fight, the big play to happen, Pirate. 16 minutes in. ROCCAT yet to really make anything happen.
Vitality find a couple of plays themselves.
Don't let him take your ward like that. You've got to show dominance. You got Blanc there.
Oh, hello. Right into the Glacial Prison he goes, Memento. Now who's bringing more friends to the party? It looks like it's Gilius who's going to have to go gold, and True Shot Barrage clipping on a few health bars. Norskeren, Unbreakable, blocking the escape. So Memento, he's the one who is a little worse for the wear, but no one's going to die just yet. It is Vitality that assert their dominance over the river.
Seems like it now. They've got their eyes set on this Rift Herald, but ROCCAT regrouping. Have their eyes set on it. Norskeren still has the ultimate available. Memento not, though.
Oh, I like that Jiizuke is just guarding the entrance to this river. He wants a few more ticks of damage, but instead he just forces ROCCAT back. So finally, Gilius gets the long-coveted Eye of the Rift Herald.
And that's how you exert dominance, Pyra. You walk into the enemy jungle alone.
No one's watching, but that was dominance too.
I mean, that's definitely one way to assert. I don't need flash. Bang! Used it.
Yeah. Nobody's going to mess with a guy who burns flash for no reason.
But yeah, I mean, Jiizuke just walking into the enemy jungle, 1v3, saying, I'm the Emperor here. I will take this jungle, and my team will take the Rift Herald, which is what they do. But, I mean, what? We've seen a misused stopwatch in the middle lane. We've seen a flash from Prophet in the bottom lane.
A few fat fingers on the ROCCAT side.
Maybe they need to fix some of their key bindings. I don't. He has his flash on D, so it's in the right place.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You're one of those guys?
Let's not get into that conversation.
Yeah, we're never going to end if that happens. We can agree to disagree, Vedius.
That's fair.
I know you're wrong, though. All right, back into this one. So ROCCAT's dual lane still sticking up towards the top side. I want to see what Vitality actually do with this Rift Herald, though, because, yeah, they got some time on it, but all the towers are still standing. On top of it being killless, we've just seen a little bit of chip damage here and there, a little bit of chip damage up on the top, down on the bottom, ebb and flow of this game.
And would you believe, Pyra, that for a Vitality game, they're on track to have the latest first blood of the EU LCS Spring Split?
I would not have believed it if I hadn't just seen the past 18 minutes. But we are going to see a first tower, Vedius. You excited?
Oh, here we go. This is
objectives.
Wrap the crowd up. Here we go, Pyra.
All right, one more hit. That's all you got to do. All right, Prophet.
Tower secured. Prophet, the lane guard.
Who needs Rift Heralds?
Who needs flash, man?
He doesn't.
That's how you lock that one down. So ROCCAT secured their first objective of the game.
All right, it's 1,500 gold to lead right now. That is one of those modest ROCCAT leads. Of course, we talk about how they come online at about the 20-25 minute mark. We're getting closer to the first of those, but I do feel like ROCCAT, small lead here. Let's see what they end up doing. I want to see the playmaking, though, is going to rely, I think, on Memento and Blanc.
Oh, yeah.
Prophet is a big part of that, too, but we'll see if it's teleport.
But this first tower going down in mid could hurt ROCCAT a lot in terms of their control over the map.
That's true.
While the first tower of the game did go in their favor, they need to hold this now.
Okay, let's see if they can fight, though. Oh, Gilius, he might have bitten off more than he could chew here, but he's able to flag and drag his way away, and Shelly's still wailing at the tower. Will finally secure it. Vitality, they're getting out by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, they played just on the edge there. The chain CC was perfect from ROCCAT. Unfortunately, he just didn't quite have enough damage to secure the kill. And Vitality walk away with the mid lane tower.
Talk about living on the edge. Gilius didn't use flash, by the way. Of course, once he flag and drag, he's already out, but still.
Fearless, that man.
Yeah, he does not know fear. This entire Vitality team does not know fear.
Calculations. He did the math in his head. The meme was there, and he was like, yeah, no, I don't need to flash. I can walk away. Here we go. Blanc ulti.
Playmaking, looking for some more damage, but Minitroupax is ready for him. However, I don't think he's ready for Norskeren, and they jump on him. There we go. First blood just shy of 20. Cosmic Radiance coming in. Jacktroll still going to have to burn his flash to get out of harm's way. Now, Vitality did not expect that.
Latest first blood of the EU LCS Spring Split 2018 goes to Blanc in exactly the style of fashion that we wanted to see, Pyra. He gets a kill down onto Minitroupax, and then this should set up ROCCAT to take their second tower of the game.
Now looking in a pretty good spot right now. Team ROCCAT is throwing away the last of these minions. Should be able to get some free hit damage up towards the top. Vitality still down a man for a couple of seconds. And there's nothing for them to really knock away. They've already got tower in the mid. We're starting to see these objectives fall. The game's going to open up. It was definitely a slower start, but not for lack of trying. And now things are heating up.
All right, so ROCCAT now. This is where the game starts to get spicy for them. They need to be proactive, and this is the first example of that. Troupax, he walks over the ward. He doesn't take the safe path. Look at Jacktroll. Do you see how where he walked through his jungle? He went from behind. He went the safe path. We've seen that too many times from pro players, Pyra. You should always take the safe route if you're not entirely confident.
Yep.
You have vision control over that area.
Give some props to Norskeren for that, though, because while Blanc was, trying to get the one-on-one going, he's like, I want in. I'm going to flash forward. The aggressive Braum play. Norskeren's made some pretty swag plays this split so far.
Yeah, his Braum has been impressive. Definitely one of his most successful champions. We're also on track to have the latest dragon, first dragon of the split. Vitality definitely adopting more of a slower play style. I seem to remember their game versus Giants where they were in an early deficit. Giants got this massive early game lead, but Vitality was successfully able to stall the game out and could then find the comeback. Now ROCCAT, they're going to be in a similar position to what Giants were in. They've got an early lead. It's a pretty significant gold lead too. You can see they've already hit 2 items for a lot of their carries. And now they need to keep forcing things. They need to keep trying to find a way into the base of Vitality.
Well, if enough, we might see a dive here. Well, there's no tower, so you don't really need to worry about the dive.
Okay, this is around as well. Level 10 to the level 12 of Memento, who has spent a lot of time farming, along with the rest of the ROCCAT members.
It does seem like Vitality are going to need some more time, but ROCCAT are a team that we do give them a lot of praise for their ability to have successful team fights put together, well organized, well thought out. And maybe the late game is not going to be in their favor from the composition, but when they win games, this is the territory we see it happening in. We talked about that magical 20 to 25 minute mark. Well, they started right about in time.
Yes, they did, Pyro, but can they keep the momentum going? Because you look at some of the items being picked up for Vitality. Leandri's and a Nash's Tooth onto Jiizuke. The Wit's End combined with the Rage Blade for Minitroupax, and the Sterix Gauge on top of the Trinity Force for the side of Cabochard. These are all big item spikes to hit, but it's when the third item comes in that Vitality can really turn things on, and that's where they should really start winning a lot more team fights in the mid to late game. So ROCCAT, I want to see some proactivity from them now. They've set up a lot of vision around the Baron. Will they use it as a means to force Vitality into a fight? Or instead, will they just try and control it, potentially look for a pick onto one of the Vitality members?
Doesn't seem like they're too interested, but Vitality do have a lot more members hanging around there right now. And game's kind of been a little bit holding here. Prophet, but Cabochard still in their eternal duel in the side lanes. Everybody else is interested in Baron Nashor, but it's the Ward Wars. The great EU Baron dance is beginning.
Ulti onto Gilius.
Here we go, let's see. Gilius is going to get caught up, but he's pretty healthy. He's able to get the standard down and drag his way over it. Now it is time for them to turn it around. Emperor's Divide's going to shove Norskeren, but he gets a 3-man knockup before flashing away. And from downtown, Cabochard's helping out. Gilius starts the fight off with a kill. The Cosmic Radiance comes in. It's already faded. The rest of ROCCAT, though, they don't want to fight these Vitality members here.
But Pyro, what was that Blanc ultimate? He literally took him and Memento out. Now they could lose the fight.
They could absolutely profit. He's isolated from the rest of the team, but they're just not in a position to chase him down. Vitality not going to get any more than that right now. A little bit of a wonky fight around the Baron pit.
That was going to be the ideal fight situation for ROCCAT to put themselves in. Jiizuke hard committed onto Norskeren, and there was a ward behind, ready for the TP to come in from Prophet. So when we get the replay up, we can watch how Blanc and Memento get teleported out of the fight. So keep your eyes on the Ryze, okay? So here, he's moving up past the wolves. They're following up on the engage from Memento. And then at this point, Vitality disengaged. They're pinging the ward behind, and they're saying, come for the flank. And at this point, you think, oh, let's go. And then look, they get teleported out of the fight. It's now a 3 versus 3. Heaq doesn't have the damage, or really the team fight value that Vitality have to really turn this fight in their favor. And it just, I'm baffled, Pyro.
Talk about top 10 anime betrayals. That one did not feel good for Norskeren.
No, man, that was definitely a weird ultimate. I'm not entirely sure what Blanc was planning there. Regardless, team fight win for Vitality. They close the goal gap a little bit. They don't get themselves any objectives.
They went for the chase on the fight, couldn't find any more after the fact. And still, though, you talked about getting to the 3-item spike. They've got enough gold to start getting there a little bit sooner now. And they're throwing their weight around. Vitality, you can tell they're a lot less afraid of this ROCCAT team. 1-to-1 in kills. That first kill went over Gilius' way, by the way. Memento, ooh, throws a Glacial Prison. He is going to find Jacktroll flashing, and Blanc is right there. This time, that's the teleport you wanted, and Jacktroll's going to fall. ROCCAT getting chunked through by the Sand Soldiers. There's that damage over time, but there's a man advantage for 30 seconds. Are ROCCAT going to force on the Baron?
Well, the Gangplank has no teleport, does have the ulti, but ROCCAT feeling confident. They know they have to try and make something happen now, so they're going for it.
All right, down to 6,000 health. Now, can Vitality pull off a miracle here? The Cannon Barrage comes, and ROCCAT, they're getting spooked. They got cold feet. The Baron's at half health, and they're not going to fully commit to it.
So they lose the bottom tower, but now they want to move back towards the objective with the Gangplank ultimate down. Do they want to run the risk? No.
Too low on the health bars. ROCCAT do not pull the trigger. Once Cabochard's ultimate comes in, they don't feel confident. So after the kill. ROCCAT still can't find anything, and in fact lose one tower. Might lose more here. Cabochard won't go any further.
I feel like ROCCAT just shouldn't have TP'd into that fight. They had more than enough damage and lockdown to secure the kill onto Jacktroll that I felt it was a little unnecessary. So we can see that the bottom lane rotates down. They get a good stun onto the support, and Ryze is able to short hit. So where exactly does it see? I believe the TP came into the middle lane alongside with Prophet. And given that that was on cooldown, perhaps he used it earlier on. Perhaps I am mistaken. But regardless, the fact that he was not in the bottom lane to hold Cabochard meant that Vitality were actually able to come out ahead in terms of what was gained.
Yeah, it's all according to the plan at this point for these guys. They're taking a bite further and further out of the gold lead, the modest gold lead that ROCCAT had established for themselves. You mentioned the late game, the 3-item spikes is what these guys are looking for. It's such a different kind of Vitality game, but it's still working out.
Seems to be so far. They are still at a slight gold deficit, but again, the onus is still on ROCCAT to be proactive. Memento and Blanc were the two players that we were looking at. Could they be the individuals to find these plays? Blanc has been involved in all of the kills so far.
All two of them.
All two of them.
Yeah.
But they need to keep this up. They need to keep finding these picks, and a lot of that will come from vision control. Now, bot lane has been pushed up in favor of ROCCAT. They need to get control over mid, and then they can use that as an opportunity to go and ward up the Baron area. Gilius, he's already in the jungle. He knows that his bottom lane are the ones with priority, so he gets first dibs on the vision control.
Yep, clearing it out all solo. Now the Ezreal and Braum are here. They wanted to come in and try and push him off, but he's gonna hop the wall before that all happens. CQ and Norskeren kind of playing ring around the Baron pit. Everyone's sniffing around, but nobody wants to fully commit to the fight. It seems like most of what we've had so far this game has been both teams kind of looking to jump into the action. As soon as somebody falls, it's over.
Feels like it, but it very much depends on who's the first to pull the trigger. It feels like a lot of the engages from ROCCAT have been onto Gilius.
It's a bit of a standoff, this game.
It certainly feels like it. Remember, it was this point in the game where H2K and Splice were getting to, and then one big fight for Splice around the Baron is effectively what decided the game. ROCCAT want, ideally, that to happen, where they secure a Baron and then they quickly end the game before Vitality get to this full late game point, but they're kind of already reaching there with the Void Staff completed on Jiizuke, level 17, and only 29 minutes into the game. The Blade of the Ruin King almost finished for Minitroupax, and a Phantom Dancer done for Cabochard. This is a scary team-to-team fight.
Yeah,
Ira.
It absolutely will be. ROCCAT, I mean, they've not been too shy to kind of get in the faces of Vitality, but they've definitely been thinking twice in the last couple of minutes, and I wonder if they're just not getting inside their own heads and being afraid of fighting Vitality. But with those items, that fear becomes a very real thing. This is a team that they've had some surprises, they've had some success, but they're facing down a 5-1 Vitality team, very favored Vitality team, and it's difficult.
Expectations are for Vitality to be the favorites in this matchup, which would make sense given that ROCCAT last week came off the back of a 0-2, and Vitality really continue their dominance, sitting at 5-1, taking down many of the other expected top teams that we have in Europe and asserting themselves at the top. And we heard Minitroupax say, just before we jumped into picks and bans, there is like a tiny % chance that ROCCAT win this game. They are so confident. Troupax, he technically relegated all of these players.
It's a great story.
Because Heaq and Prophet were on that NIP roster where they were able to knock them out. Now, Sun again onto Gilius.
Okay, but he's flashed over, and they also have the Taric ultimate, Cosmic Radiance on a couple of members. Now let's see if the disengage or the re-engage comes in. Gilius popping in, and it looks like they might have some damage, but Gilius might get sacrificed. TQ's gonna get the first kill on that, and a barrage not too close, but the sustained damage is what Vitality were looking for. However, the burst on the other side, Jiizuke having to flash away. Blanc has popped his Zhonya's, looking to go back and forth at this point. Memento and Prophet incredibly low on the health bars, but nobody on the ROCCAT side goes down. It is Gilius that bites it now in this fight.
The vast majority of that fight was actually 4v5 for ROCCAT. Blanc arrived to the party so late, but now he could finally do something.
And they found Blanc though. Let's see if they can go over the wall. They get him. It's Jiizuke. tells him to wave goodbye, go back to Fountain. Teleport's got to get canceled, and ROCCAT know they can't take this fight, not without their mid laner.
Blanc played this fight horribly. He uses his ultimate far too late to actually get into the thick of things, and then right at the end, he even loses his life. So the fight overall ends up being a 1-for-1. And Vitality, they're the ones that have pressure over mid and over Baron.
Yeah, don't know if they want to start it just yet. Gilius, he's making a beeline for the Baron pit. Yes, they do, in fact. So, 3 members strong. Vitality starting to get this one down low, but Memento is here. Troupax is going to get locked up for just a second. He has to go gold. They force ROCCAT back inside their own jungle. Sustain damage. This is what they want to take the fight. Jiizuke, though, chunked out a little bit low. Blanc still down as a 4v5, and Vitality are spooked. They're going to back away.
It's a lot of damage down onto Jiizuke, but now with the Blanc TP, it could be ROCCAT that start up the Baron and try to threaten it. Heaq just trying to get a bit of poke down. Here we go. ROCCAT now the ones to begin the Baron off.
That's a serious Baron tango right now. Cabochard, Gilius, Jacktroll all hanging around the side. Jiizuke, he cannot get back in this fight. He runs real far out. So it's 5 members of ROCCAT strong. They're getting the Baron down to 7,000, 6,000 now. If Gilius can get inside the pit, go for it. No, he goes in very early right now, and gonna miss on the ultimate from Memento, but things are going pretty low. Gilius is gonna hop the pit. He's got a Cosmic Radiance on, and everyone's getting chunked low. Cabochard gets Norskeren. Everybody's health bars are starting to drop. That's a double for Cabochard. The Baron's going down, secured up by ROCCAT, and they're trying to get out, but that's a short-range teleport. Jacktroll not connecting on the Dazzle, and this is oh so close on those health bars. The chase is still going. Gilius looking for Blanc. He's trying to turn it around. A Cabo eats an orange, and everything's okay. Gilius with the kill.
ROCCAT, oh man. That was such a back and forth fight between ROCCAT and Vitality, but it is ROCCAT that secured the objective.
On 2 members, Vedius.
That could have ended in disaster, but this was the kind of action that we wanted. So, Gilius goes in with the Taric ultimate. You'd think he goes in super early, but he actually buys so much time working with Jacktroll. And this is a great stun plus ulti combo while Troupax just deals damage from the backside. He's able to get out with his life. And look, Memento has to use an early smite, but they know that Gilius isn't in range, so they try to burst it down. You think maybe they can get away at this point in time, but no, the collapse comes down onto Blanc, onto Prophet. Prophet's forced to leave his mid laner behind, and while he comes so close to getting a kill onto Cabo, the oranges are enough to keep Cabo alive.
So Vitality, they turn the gold in their favor ever so slightly. This game, it does kind of feel like one team gets an objective or one team gets a fight, but the other team comes out ahead. So it's 2 minutes on this Baron buff for ROCCAT to work with 2 members, but Vitality are feeling confident. They've hit that item spike that we've been talking about all game long on just about everybody.
And while that was the excitement that we were looking for, Pyro, the excitement only gets even greater, as I can tell you that this is the latest first dragon in EU LCS history at 33 minutes and 49 seconds.
We're setting records today,
We are setting some exciting stuff today, Pyro.
It's a bold new day in the EU LCS.
And the excitement will just continue.
Vitality.
It's just going to keep ramping up from here because Vitality's comp, as you already identified, they've reached that late game point. They're ready to fight. They're ready to tango. But ROCCAT, they have the Baron. They're looking to siege.
Yeah, we can see the sense of urgency from this ROCCAT team. But, oh man, that bash to the heel on this Taric is coming in really clutch right now. And ROCCAT, they're just running short on members, or short on minions, I should say. And long range, Baron empowered, cannon minion. No match for Jiizuke's Sand Soldiers. In all seriousness, yeah, it feels like it's been a much quieter Vitality game, but this is very much kind of like feeling like a ROCCAT game. We're seeing the proactive plays, we're seeing them make stuff happen, and here we go, once again, Troupax getting jumped on, but he has to flash away. However, there's a root. Memento, he's caught up, tanking tower shots. That's a lot of damage, and he's limping away. Troupax, he thought about it. He's got no flash, he doesn't have the range, but he thought about it. He saw the kill.
Yeah, he saw it in his eyes, but he was forced to use all of his summoner spells. Both the cleanse and the flash now unavailable. And this is one of the weaknesses that Sejuani has in the late game. Because of all the unsealed spell books, you often see 2 to 3 to sometimes even 4 cleanses that every time that Sejuani tries to engage, immediate cleanse, disengage. Now ROCCAT don't have a way to start the fight. Troupax picking that one up. Wouldn't be surprised to see Jacktroll. Oh, he's actually running the Glacial Augment, something we haven't talked about at all, Pyra.
Yeah, well, there's been so much excitement in this game. We haven't had time.
But at this point, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Gonna have significantly less value outside of the laning phase. But wow, it's been a very back and forth setup. Troupax now sitting off onto a side lane. They're doing their best to buy out the Baron, which will just run out now, and ROCCAT, aside from the Cloud Drake, were unable to really secure any additional objectives.
Looking to do a little bit more. Baron has worn off, but they do have superior numbers on this mid lane tier 1, and that has stood for a very long time as well. So finally, ROCCAT will knock it down. The tower score stands at 3-3. ROCCAT retake the gold lead, but it is just so darn close in that. In Vitality, the scaling is always going to make them look better the longer and longer this game goes.
Oh yes, it is. Will Vitality find the successful fight? So far, ROCCAT have been using a lot of their engages onto Gilius because of how quickly you can burst this Jarvan out, but he has now completed the Warmogs on top of a lot of MR and a fair amount of armor too. So he's more than happy to soak up that ulti. And with all the cleanses, who can you really ulti at this point? Remember, the Gangplank also has the oranges. So this initiation tool from ROCCAT is going to be heavily mitigated from the side of Vitality.
You know, we see Prophet on the screen for just a second. I want to see that being the X factor here. Memento, yes, the engages can be good there, but we talked a lot about how Prophet on this Gnar is such an incredible playmaker for this ROCCAT squad. And we have only seen a handful of scoops, in all honesty. I want to see a big Gnar, but Vitality, they're wise to this. This is a smart team. They're not going to group up in a choke point. They're not going to give ROCCAT that opportunity. And unless something changes, I mean, that's the trouble here for this ROCCAT team.
I think for Prophet, his whole focus this game too has been trying to keep Cabo in the side lane as much as possible. Just look at the build that he's gone for, Frozen Mallet and Phantom Dancer. That is very much a skirmish-orientated build rather than getting into the thick of things and building for team fights. He now has the Randuins, but by picking up a Vamp Scepter too, he's going for sustain and playing more towards the side lane. Now we see Vitality group up, very easily take him in town.
Yeah, all the while he's trying to keep Cabo locked up. The rest of Vitality says, that's fine. We go ahead and get ourselves a second tier in the mid. However, Blanc is doing the same thing up towards the top side, but it does feel like ROCCAT are running slowly out of options. They're getting cowed further and further out. They are relying on some side lane plays. Yes, they have big pushing lanes, and yes, they can certainly get those, but I'm not really certain if Vitality are that concerned about it, to be honest, because they can just keep pushing it back the other way.
Because remember, we're now at a point in the game where ROCCAT do not want to fight 5v5.
On the other hand, yeah.
So you just want to keep playing on the side lane. Now Blanc, he has the ultimate and Zhonya's combo, but yeah, Vitality deciding not to continue on with the chase.
Only get a few more of those before the nerfs come.
That is indeed true. 8.3 live on current patch, but we are still on 8.2 here in the EU LCS. Look at the speed at which
yeah, okay. You know, I think I misspoke. Vitality should definitely be worried about this.
Yeah, because this is it, see. This is what you do with the Gnar and the Ryze, because you can't really team fight in the late games. You just got to keep playing along the sides.
1-3-1.
And the thing is about Blanc is it's really difficult to send multiple members off to kill Blanc, because he has the Ryze ulti plus Zhonya's combo. And then Prophet, he's built for this skirmish build. He has a lot of kite, he has a lot of dueling power. So even if they send two members, he actually has a very easy way of just escaping. So Vitality, their next option is, let's force Baron. Let's force them to group up and fight us at this objective. Whereas ROCCAT is saying, we just want to stall you. We want to make sure that you don't commit to it. We want to make sure we have good vision control around the area. And we're just going to keep our side laners split pushing off on the side lane. So it's all going to be about who can do their job better. Can ROCCAT successfully stall out the Baron? Or will Vitality be able to successfully force the fight that they want around this big objective?
And this is huge for ROCCAT if they can actually pull it off. Remember, this is a team that didn't have a huge amount of expectations coming in. They're facing down the team that looks the strongest in the ULCS at this moment. If they win after an 0-2 week, granted against some tough opponents, but I mean, what a confidence booster it would be. They're going to have to try and pull it off, though. Vitality clearly showing the pretty obvious hand that they want to fight around Baron Nashor. Blanc, he can come in for a collapse around the side, but that Baron is going low real fast. This is a 40-minute Vitality squad. Memento looking to come in. Can he get the spike? He can do it! Oh, Memento! You beautiful man! He stole it away. He gives his life for the cause. If the rest of ROCCAT can get out, that is hashtag worth, because look at those side lanes, Vedius. This fight is all a ruse. Look at the picture-in-picture right now. They're getting one on the top. They're getting one on the bottom. Okay, they lose Norskeren. ROCCAT, they just pulled a smash and grab.
Memento coming up huge, acting as the hero for his team, stealing away the Baron from the god Gilius himself. That is the second Baron that he has now lost, and it is massive for this ROCCAT roster, who are continuing on with the push.
Vitality are doing this Dragon right now, and they're losing their base at the minute. Cabochard and Jiizuke are just trying to hold the line as Heaq just holds the harass. ROCCAT are just inserting some chaos into this one. Heaq still trying to keep them harassed down, but they've got to be able to secure it. Teleport coming in for Cabochard. All of a sudden, This train has gone off the tracks, Vedius. Let's see what Prophet and Heaq can do if they can make themselves scarce fast. Trying to turn it around on Gilius, but that's a lot more members of Vitality. Blanc coming in. Gilius goes down, or Gilius goes forward, I should say, and the Cosmic Radiance is on, and that's going to be all she wrote for these ROCCAT members trying to scatter Blanc. He's going to be able to pull the trick and get his way out of harm's way. Another teleport coming in. That's got to be canceled. Now, the only question is these 3 ROCCAT members, they just got to hold the line for a little while.
Whoo! Vitality. They did the right thing. They forced the Baron. They knew that they would secure it, they would have the Baron recalls, they could get back, stop the split push, and then they would be the ones in control of the game. The only risk that Vitality had was if ROCCAT could get the steal. And Memento, he dashes in, he flashes over the stun. He outsmites Gilius, and let's make sure we get the slow-mo of the steal. So the flash over the stun, the sidestep, ugh. And Gilius just mistimes it. 1500 HP is when he uses the smite. And then Memento's able to secure that one away. Vitality, rather than backing, they tried to go for extra kills. They tried to secure a couple of extra members. And look at how long it takes them to go back to base. So much was secured for the side of ROCCAT. And this is the final fight, where ROCCAT actually, they're looking in a good spot. They think, oh, we can actually shut down Gilius. But the flash from Jacktroll, very smart. Able to use his ultimate, buy enough time for Minitroupax to show up. And that was all they needed to get the team fight win and secure themselves an extra couple of kills.
But in all the aftermath, Blanc still makes his way out. They grab themselves 2 inhibitors for their trouble. And there's a minute left on this Baron buff for ROCCAT still to try and keep pushing things back. Or does any members have it yet? Actually, I don't think they do.
And there's only about...
Oh, nope. Blanc has it.
45
Thank you,
seconds
observers.
left. 45 seconds roughly on the Elder Dragon. So that should time at about the same time as the Baron. Perhaps a little bit sooner.
What a crazy turn of events.
They're going for a collapse onto Prophet. Let's see what the rest of ROCCAT can do.
He's Mega Gnar, so he's a little slow right now. They can make it happen. Cannon Barrage, that's the slowdown. Gilius coming around the side. Prophet could be in some trouble. He does stomp one barrel, tries to get on another. Instead, there's a 3-man scoop, and he's going to be running out of Mega Gnar pretty soon. That means his stats are going to drop, but
So fast, look at him go!
that's a Hyper Gnar, and even clears away the barrel. Can't do anything. Look what's happening in the meantime. ROCCAT, they just keep playing all over this map. They're just dragging Vitality without giving them a good option.
Remember that without this Baron, ROCCAT would not be in this position. It was that secure from Memento that enabled ROCCAT to have this pressure on side lanes, to play the 1-3-1. They knew they couldn't teamfight against this Azir, this Varus, this Gangplank, so they had to play the map. And they're showing us why they have been known over the last few weeks as a late-game focused team. These guys know how to make the right decisions. And yes, it did rely on Memento getting the steal, but once he got it, they knew exactly what to do with it.
And Memento, as a player, you know, he's been pretty vocal about how, you know, he's using this squad. He wants to be the leader of this squad. And making a play like that, making a call like that, that inspires confidence in a team. A team that had a rough week last week, that dropped games against Giants, against Fnatic, people that are supposed to be within their same kind of skill level. But to do what they're doing against Vitality, who only one of their teams has been able to beat, is very impressive.
And to secure a win over Vitality would be huge. It would shake up the standings. It would give ROCCAT a great opportunity to fight further and further up the bracket. And now ROCCAT, they're starting to group up in the mid to try and siege onto this final tower. You can see, again, Blanc still sitting up in the top lane. Prophet on the bottom. The bot. The 1-3-1 coming out once again. ROCCAT buffed against #1 teams confirmed. You know, that's the old storyline. It's not just the Kingslayers, it's just whoever sits on top, Pyro.
Yeah. Good old Super Mario, or Mario Kart Blue Shell, if you will.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, but I mean, that kind of implies they're in last place, right? These guys definitely got the skills to pay the bills. And Prophet pushing in the bottom, as you mentioned. The wave is going to get pushed in the top, courtesy of Blanc, and Vitality are kept at arm's length.
Now, we heard the announcer say that the inhibitor is respawning soon, and there it is. Top lane inhibitor has returned for Vitality. And that means that they have been able to stall out for the time being. There's the notification for the other one. Baron will be spawning in a minute 30. Vitality, they will have the better teamfight comp. They will have their base intact, and they will be in a position to fight for this Baron. So what are ROCCAT's next moves? Do they continue with the 1-3-1? Do they try to rush the Baron down? Or do they try and look for a pick instead? I feel like the smartest thing for them to do right now is to continue the 1-3-1. But how long can they really hold this off until Vitality muster the courage to force a fight, find the pick, and then suddenly get the Baron and perhaps win the game?
Vitality, on paper, having all the tools they need to try and force a fight out here, and they have just so much damage. You know, I mean, we're getting into the late game, right? Cabochard's in double Infinity Edge territory at this point. And it has been all about this Baron in the last 10 minutes or so. 38 seconds till the next one's going to spawn. Blanc trying to play hide-and-go-seek, but Minitroupax spots him on the blue trinket. A lot of pings from ROCCAT. Vitality have 2 members towards the Baron pit trying to secure that vision up. Yep. Actually possibly trying to cut off Blanc, but he's got the combo if he wants to make his escape. He's going to burn Flash already, though, and he just might have to use it. There he goes. Gilius forces that out of him. Meanwhile, down in the bottom side, we see the Gnar Gangplank matchup never ends.
The Ruin King finished as well, so this guy going for the full dual build. Memento now back. Yes, Blanc lost his Flash and the combo, but they're now in a position to clear up vision around the Baron area. Heaq and Norskeren have to be careful. Gilius looking for an engage.
All right, wants to jump in, but he found Norskeren. Norskeren turns right around with the Winter's Bite, slows him down. Speaking of, that was a Glacial Prison that whiffs from Memento. As they find some more poke damage down onto Gilius, he's going to be able to regen quite a lot when the Warmogs kicks in. It's just so much sustain on this Vitality side. This is why ROCCAT need these picks quickly to make it happen. Oh boy, Vitality looking to turn it back around once again. Crucially, no ultimate from Memento, just a lot of swings back and forth. Both the teams trying to find an angle. And the Mortal Kombat between the top laners continues on the inhibitor.
We're at full build across the board, Pyra. 47.5 minutes in. Double Infinity Edge now picked up for Cabo as well. We saw it on Alfari last week. And that allowed Misfits and the gang to hold the line against Fnatic. Now Vitality posturing around the Baron. They will rush it again. They do not want to allow the steal to happen. Can Memento be the hero for ROCCAT?
He's going to have to walk through some Sand Soldiers first. Now Vitality, it looks like it's just a feint. They're going to back off. Baron is already regenning here, and the rest of Vitality trying to back away. Meanwhile, Prophet is still engaging Cabo, trying to push. The difference is that teleport would have to come in for Prophet to have that impact. Already down to half the health. Norskeren going around the side. Memento looking to see if he can make it 2 for 2. He goes over the wall. The shuffle's not going to happen again. He does it twice. Are you kidding me? Memento is going to pull it off. They're not losing any members, but Prophet, he went down in a 1v1 versus Cabochard. Memento's going to have to try and dodge, ring around the Rosie as Gilius looks to come in. He wants some serious revenge. Heaq, Memento going to get locked up, but maybe they can find some damage to fire back on. Nothing doing this time around. That's 2 members taken out. Heaq going to have to flash away. But Norskeren's already escaped. Heaq is getting fired down. Minitroupax chase him. Hail of arrows. Heaq is going to be popping everything to try and kite away from this, but look at where the Ryze is, Vedius.
Oh man, Vitality are so angry right now. They are flashing, they are aggressing. They want to kill this ROCCAT roster. 2 steals in a row. Gilius has fallen from grace as Memento successfully steals 2 Barons away in what has been an extremely exciting game.
What is a god to a non-believer, Vedius? Memento, the only thing he believes in is good smite timing.
So have a look at this. 2-6-3. I don't even think that was a missed smite. Vitality, they just burst it down at the wrong time. They should have focused in on just killing Memento instead. They go for the gamble, and ROCCAT come out on top. Now, unfortunately, Memento tries to back on a ward, and Gilius says, nah, I will not let you get away with this twice. You are definitely going to lose your life. And Troupax, he says, I have to kill this AD carry. Unfortunately, he isn't able to do so. But ROCCAT, they get themselves another Baron. They secure an inhibitor down in the bottom lane. Hopefully we can get a bit of a picture-in-picture on how Prophet did end up dying. Didn't even notice he died because I was so focused on what was happening in the Baron.
I think Prophet was too.
Yeah, perhaps, but the fact that they secured the inhibitor, I believe it was Blanc that ended up securing it at the end, so he wasn't even able to give his life for that objective. But now that he has the GA, that should help his dueling prowess. My word, Pyra. Gold is extremely even. Not that it matters at this point in the game.
Yeah, I know we're full builds. It's 50 minutes into the game, but the Baron's important. I mean, at this point, Vitality, this is where they get the ZZ Raw Portal buy and sell strat. The good old standby to try and plug the holes in their base that ROCCAT just keep punching. I mean, it's just wicked that they've been able to do this time and again.
So we can see the replay now in the bottom left of your screen. Prophet does
that's a big
pretty well, but oh yeah.
Yeah.
The big crits coming out from the Gangplank. Did use his flash, was able to get the solo kill. Close one there from Prophet, but He just miscalculates the damage.
He's got 2 swords.
Yeah, clearly can't quite win out on that 1v1. Even with the Randuins mitigating some of the crits, still more than enough.
But ROCCAT rather could just keep doing this, and maybe even more, because they find Gilius. He gets the flag and drag away, and
yeah, good timing there from Gilius, able to just about use that. Be nice to see who still has the Baron on the side of ROCCAT. I definitely know that Blanc has one. We see one on Norskeren and Heaq too, but Prophet and Memento are lacking it. So that one split push threat on the side, not going to be available, or not as impactful, but ROCCAT should be able to secure themselves the Elder Dragon. They have the only dragon of the game, Pyra.
That's a bonus. I mean, that's the difference between the first Baron steal and the second one is this time ROCCAT are the ones in the driver's seat. They can keep pushing Vitality back, and this team is finding themselves in an unfamiliar position. Vitality are not used to losing. And the only time they did so far, it was just a sudden swing. Oh, this has got to be so frustrating.
Yeah, this is definitely the latest game that Vitality have had to play yet. They've already gone for the double Zarot portals, triple even. You can see one just behind the Nexus there to add to the wave clear. Now remember, Fnatic v Misfits, very similar situation, where Fnatic were the ones with all this control over Misfits base. Then they couldn't quite end the game. Misfits were able to stall. Vitality, they're looking to do the same when they have a comp to do it. Just look at the wave clear. ROCCAT will have to fight this team. And it's going to be on how well they can do it, because this comp, this lane into the game, you would expect on paper to lose, but ROCCAT have shown that miracles are possible so far throughout this game.
Yeah, they're defying the odds at every possible corner right now, but you gotta be careful not to take those crits. You see Heaq's health bar getting chunked, and that burst is gonna be the difference. Slightly better Baron power play this time around. Given the circumstances, gotta give ROCCAT a round of applause for that one. And this time, Vitality aggressively defending their inhibitors. They've given far too many up. But ROCCAT would really like to crack this mid lane if they possibly can. They do find Gilius, but the Cosmic Radiance comes in. There'll be nothing happening, and once again, while it's all going on, Blanc just takes another easy-peasy inhibitor.
I like the engage being forced there from ROCCAT, because it allows Blanc more time up in the top lane to clear it out. Here comes Jiizuke flash from Blanc.
Yeah, I tried for the shuffle. Blanc was a little faster on the draw there.
I think Jiizuke just wanted to get the summoner spell up, and now Gilius not quite able to find the fight, but Prophet's still split pushing in the bot. Vitality, they don't know where to start the fight. Ulti missed even for Minitroupax.
I think at this point, Prophet and Blanc have spent more time in the Vitality base than they have in their own.
That's probably true, Pyra. And they want to make it their own as they continue to push. Prophet doesn't have a minion wave, though.
Oh, what a tense game it's been for over 20 minutes at this point. We're getting to that 100K gold mark. Of course, as you mentioned a while ago, it really doesn't matter. ROCCAT just keep dragging Vitality 6 ways to Sunday. Let's see what they can do. They just need to try and force a fight, get the shuffle on, but Prophet's already gotten out of there. Quick flash from him. Fancy fingers.
Jiizuke trying to be proactive, trying to punish the split pushes. Now that both flashes are down, the next time his ulti is up, he's going to look to punish them once again.
Inhibitor in the bottom is going to respawn. This is going to give Vitality a little bit of breathing room, but the pressure is still on. ROCCAT are backing away. We could be in for another Baron. I think this time ROCCAT might be the ones to start it, Vedi.
Well, as long as Gilius is able to secure it, I don't care. Vitality care that much.
Oh my goodness, the teleport down to the bottom. Prophet is still going. They're leading. ROCCAT are leading Vitality on a wild goose chase here.
Okay, this is dangerous. Minitroupax by himself, but we'll be able to secure the red. Oh my word, look at the Ryze ulti. They're just rushing up top.
Are they going to be able to do this? This is going to be insane. No, they get cold feet for just a second. Don't want to get collapsed on by the Vitality members. Now they've got to make it out alive. Gilius wants to go in. Doesn't have any backup just yet. Jacktroll coming. The teleport is coming in for Cabochard. Gilius hops the pit, makes them all get involved. There's the knockup. Cosmic Radiance, so they can't take any more damage here. And Cabochard, Troupax, Jiizuke bringing up the line, but the Gnar is still there. If ROCCAT can hang on, it looks like they have, it's going to be another inhibitor.
Now Baron spawning in 20 seconds. Cabo, no TP. No ultimate from Cabo or Gilius either. And Vitality, their goal was to just force a fight, maybe get a kill, secure a Baron, and then go back to base and defend. Instead, they've now lost their second inhibitor. Their Nexus Tower loses half its health, and the Baron is spawning. ROCCAT are in a position to rush it down, and here comes the TP from Norskeren.
All right, like clockwork, ROCCAT know exactly what to do. This drill has been going on for so long here, and while Prophet tries to buy as much possible time, the team looks to chase him down on the other side. This Baron will go uncontested for the first time today. ROCCAT should be able to easily secure that one up. Down it goes. And ROCCAT in full control, and we are just under an hour.
3 for 3 Barons for ROCCAT in this game. Vitality, they played the early game so well. They were all about scaling. They knew exactly what they needed to do, and twice they did it properly, but they could not stop Memento from getting into the pit, and they allowed him to steal it twice. And that is the biggest criticism right now that we have of Vitality, where they take these gambles around the Baron, and they end up losing.
Yeah, didn't even seem like a gamble, to be honest. A couple of hero plays from Memento, but yeah, you got to get that timing right on the smite. And Vitality are paying the price. The ZZ Rot buy and sell comes back in again, and Vitality just got gold to burn trying to hold onto their base, but it just keeps getting pushed out on the side time and again. ROCCAT are playing incredible. Who needs scaling, Vedius? They've got the strats.
I love the tweet that we saw from Amazing earlier. You can't spell macro without ROC.
You're right.
These guys have had a great game so far, but it's all about ending it. They want to get that W on the board, Pyra. And Vitality is a team you cannot afford to underestimate. We've seen Jiizuke look to make those individual plays. He's trying to be the hero for his team. 2-0-3 yet to die in this game. And one streamer shuffle onto one unsuspecting target could swing the momentum back in the favor of Vitality.
Yeah, we just haven't seen it yet, but all it takes is one, right? We always talk about these late games, one fight decides everything. Well, of course it does if it's super decisive, but at this point, just one kill would mean a whole lot for a Vitality team who are just trying to hold back the storm. ROCCAT, once again, back to the 1-3-1 ways, but they're starting to lose some damage on their mid tower this time around. Baron and power minions on everybody from ROCCAT because they just didn't lose a man in the process of taking it all. Memento's even tanking up some of this tower, but you got to be careful. There's still the engage possibility.
ROCCAT just cannot get this tower. Could this be it?
Gilius trying to go in. He gets the hop. He has found Heaq, but he's out and over the wall. Can't stay in the pit for very long here, and there's going to be the knockup for Norskeren. They stop Gilius for just a second. The tower is still taking a pounding. Inhibitors are going to respawn, but I don't know if they're going to stick around for too much longer. That's the one up in the top is going to get regen, but Blanc is already right there.
It's going to clear that one out. ROCCAT still failing to secure that mid tower. The additional problem that they have is Cabo literally sits underneath the Nexus towers and just wave clears. So Prophet can never really threaten those Nexus towers because he never has a minion wave to do it with, and the same goes for Blanc. That means 4 members of Vitality just sit mid, continuously wave clear, and are able to hold the line.
Oh, this is big, Vedius. Prophet even decided to get involved in the mid lane, but no, he's got to be forced back because Vitality aggressive, still defending it all. Half the damage on the inhibitor up top because Minitroupax is looking to chase down Blanc. And ROCCAT, they just keep chipping away, trying to kill Vitality by 1,000 paper cuts.
That tower is getting very low. ROCCAT, their Baron's about to wear off in 30 seconds. Not entirely sure on when the next Elder Drake will be respawning, but I believe that will be the 3rd Elder of the game. We've seen 3 Barons, maybe 3 Elders. Here goes Gilius.
Okay, tries to go in. Can't quite do it. Oh, they find a stun off onto the Taric, but Jacktroll, he's the tankier one. He's going to stay alive, and here we go. Preemptively, immediately, Blanc's just in and out. Easy done. And he grabs another inhibitor. So there's not a lot of uptime on these side lane inhibitors, but the mid one's doing pretty good on the track record. Let's see what they can get done here. No more Baron buff, but they still fancy their chances to try and keep pushing at it. Prophet in this Gnar form, about to run out. Has to be careful not to get too close for comfort. I mean, just keeping them at arm's length, but here is the fight. Let's see if they can find it. Cabochard, he throws down his cannon barrage. Memento is the one they're targeting on, and that's going to be a huge swing here. Let's see if Vitality can turn it into something more, but they back away. Memento, it took everything they had just to take him out. And now Blanc, he could be in some trouble. He doesn't have his ultimate, but he does have a flash, and he's going to burn it. Back to the mid we go. Gilius, he's going to get chunked down for just a second. Redemption coming in. That's going to keep him nice and healthy. The Sand Soldiers now. Vitality, they might have found an opening, but not enough of one. Only the jungler taken down. That's a long death timer, but ROCCAT have weathered far worse.
And this is it. Vitality were just stalling for so long in the middle lane, waiting for an opportunity to force an engage onto the 3 members. They knew that if Blanc and Prophet would come down and join the fight, it would be an easy teamfight win for Vitality. So they kept them off in the side lanes, they kept threatening it, but remember Memento had already used his flash. Good patience here from Gilius to wait for Memento to use his dash so that he could lock him down in the Cataclysm and allow the rest of Vitality to secure that kill. This will alleviate some of the pressure, allow the bottom inhibitor to respawn for Vitality, and with the Elder Drake spawning in a minute's time, that'll be their next big objective that they want to try and secure.
If they can do it, might finally see that big out in the open 5v5 fight. ROCCAT so far have been able to just hold off Vitality at arm's length, keep them locked up inside their base, but one inhibitor on the bottoms respawn, the other one, well, it got taken out pretty quickly, so they're going to have to be guarding that side of their base. You see Minitroupax already trying to shove the wave out, but ROCCAT, they are not resting on their laurels. Continue just trying to push these waves in the side lane, in the mid lane. But Vitality, they just want one good fight. What a game, Vedius.
It's been a great game. 1 minute 34 until the next Baron. Blanc lying in wait.
Mixing things up a bit.
A bit of a kill.
He gets a one-on-one at Cabochard. That'd be something. Getting closer and closer. Oh, barrel, there we go.
Not going to fall for the trick. Smart of Cabo. Like, I saw what happened to Alfari. I ain't falling for no sneaky death brushes.
Yeah, but they won the game.
They did. Now, Elder Dragon has spawned. Vitality have priority over it. Gangplank has TP and ultimate, so they're going to be the ones to start it. Will Memento be 4 for 4 on steals, or will they just concede?
Yet to be seen. Gilius is alone in the pit, actually.
Look at the top
lane. Decided they didn't want to do this, yeah. Everyone's rushing towards it, so now the Dragon kind of abandoned and forgotten. As Blanc, he's going to be making his great escape once again.
He loses a lot of his HP. Cabochard does a great job of stopping that inhibitor from going down. And now Vitality have their eyes set back on towards the Elder Drake. No TP onto Blanc. Going to be working his way towards the Elder, but Vitality should be able to rush this one down. TP in from the Gangplank too.
All right, they're going all in on this one, trying to get themselves the Elder Dragon. Unless Memento wants to give his life. I don't know if there's entirely a point to that one. He checks in. Doesn't go for the dash and no smite. So 62 minutes, Vitality got it.
I feel like this was smart from ROCCAT. Don't risk losing your jungle with the Baron about to spawn, and you'll be able to open up the middle lane. Now Jiizuke is going up against the Mega Gnar.
Oh no! Just gonna flash over to avoid being smacked up into the wall, but meanwhile there's still a fight going on in the mid, and it looks like Vitality are getting the better of this one. They found Norskeren and are able to take him down. The mid lane was cracked, but the inhibitor did not fall, and Vitality have a man advantage for 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Okay, now Norskeren overstays, and look at that death time. It is so long. ROCCAT trying to rush the Baron. Could this be Gilius' time to get the steal?
Oh, if he could do it, turnabout's fair play. It looks like ROCCAT, they're not keen to give up anything else after such a long time hanging on and starting to push it back around. Looks like they're going to be conceding on this Baron. Vitality might have a chance to do it. However, the rest of ROCCAT are moving up towards the top. Can Vitality shred this one down in time before ROCCAT are on top of their base? Memento, is he going to make it a hat trick? Looking to go in a third time. He can't do it. Vitality says not today, but they are going to be losing their base right now. 3 members of ROCCAT. The teleports, the backs, they're already coming in. Vitality secure it up.
And finally, things go the way of Vitality. They secure the Elder Drake, they've secured themselves the Baron, and they've held onto their base for long enough. This has been a long, drawn-out battle for them, but now they're in a position to finally start sieging onto the base of ROCCAT.
I love this, man. ROCCAT haven't gotten a kill in 30 minutes, but they've been controlling the tempo. These guys are playing a pacifist run, and they're doing it well.
Well, they've tried their best, but now it is Vitality that are in the driver's seat. Still a lot of the base left up for ROCCAT. Let's see how ROCCAT can hold off in the stall. The one thing we got to keep an eye on is that one little ward on the inhibitor. I'm not entirely sure if it is a zombie ward or if it is a ward that you can TP to, but maybe ROCCAT tries some kind of sneaky base race strat.
Well, it's Vitality's time to shine. That is a regular ward. Only a little bit of time left, and I don't know if ROCCAT have that much time left on their base. Vitality are just going to muscle into the mid, and all that damage, the Elder Dragon, the Baron buff, they get themselves one inhibitor, and they will not push for too much more.
You can see the difference in the comps, where once Vitality group up, they're just like, yeah, no, this is ours now. They're going to set up a death brush of their own. Will get spotted out.
Clutch, blue trinket. So Vitality finally breaking open a bit of the base here on ROCCAT's side. And everyone's backing away. There's nothing for ROCCAT to really take except the base. So they can just live there if they're Vitality for a moment.
Now, this is the game of setting records, Pyra. Our longest game this split so far was Splice versus the Unicorns of Love. 16 minutes and 9 seconds. This could be the one to break that. I believe right now this is our second longest split, with the Misfits versus Fnatic game being our third. Can ROCCAT and Vitality continue to set new records?
Yeah, maybe with so many Barons stolen away. Now, only a couple of them, but looking like we were going to have a couple more. And we'll probably be in for at least another Baron buff at this point before the game actually ends. Vitality, though, moving 5 members up towards the top side, trying to systematically dismantle the rest of ROCCAT's base. There's nobody at home. ROCCAT are actually trying to go for Broke here and run it up mid, but up against Super Minis, they're not going to win this.
They will definitely lose this base race. Pyro Vitality are happy to take this, but ROCCAT have decided this is the best case scenario. We've got a base race on our hands.
All right, they're going to try to speed things up a little bit, going inside the base, and here we go. It looks like one's getting cold feet. Minitroupax, Jiizuke, Vitality, they've decided to back out of this one. They've been spooked. Cabochard is the only one sticking around. Now, he's going to get some serious damage done on this, but will he be able to equalize? That's going to be the tower. He's going to be able to get a lot more. ROCCAT cannot take the express route out, but look at where Prophet is. He's still on the top side. No, he's not going to push either. Everybody's not sure what's happening anymore, Vedius. Oh, I can't believe it.
I thought we were going to end the game on a base race, just like the Splice UOL one, but Vitality said, what? No, wait, oh, forgot Ryze ulti. No. We're out. Use the Baron buff. Let's get back to base. Let's defend. But ROCCAT secure themselves a mid-inhib. They do lose one in exchange. So overall gain for Vitality. But the game's still on a knife edge. You would expect Vitality to be the heavy favorites to close out this game, given their composition, given the state that the map is in, given how easy it is for Vitality to brute force their way into the enemy base. But ROCCAT are just being so creative in how they find ways to deal with Vitality. They haven't gotten a kill in, as you rightly said, a really long time. I'm sure stats will be able to clarify for me exactly how long ROCCAT have not been able to get a kill for. But they really have just been dictating the entire pace of the game.
Yeah, but look, it looks like we're in for it once again. There's 4 members in the mid. Now ROCCAT realize, no, we can't be pushing further. But wait a minute, they're going to be backing again.
No, they're not going to try it again.
But they're leaving Cabochard. He's fine, he's got TP. They let him do the demolishing duty. There's no inhibitor in this mid lane, though. It feels like ROCCAT, how many lanes can they go on?
But look at this. If everyone for Vitality goes back, they go for the collapse onto Cabo, but they recognize, okay, it's actually a 3 versus 2. This is not what Memento wants.
He's going to Prophet at his back, though. The rest of ROCCAT are coming. Now, this is a kind of fight they feel like they can maybe win here if they've split Vitality up. The chase is on. Looking for Gilius. They find onto Cabochard. Do they have the damage? He needs another orange. Let's see if they can get him. He throws down his own ultimate, and now there's the Cosmic Radiance, but can they just wait out the duration? Jacktroll is getting chunked a little bit down. Cabochard's getting scooped back. Blanc gets one, and ROCCAT are getting excited here, but the Cavalry has arrived. Jiizuke and Minitroupax, those are the damage dealers, but it's going to be a shutdown. Cabochard, his first death of the game, and it just might be the nail in the coffin. ROCCAT, they've got time to work with. Those are some serious death timers.
Love the plan from ROCCAT. They repeat the process. They expect Vitality to be safe and go back to base. Only a few members, the 2 carries of Vitality, end up actually going back, and that allows ROCCAT to force a favorable fight. Now Cabo is dead, Jacktroll is dead. Can ROCCAT finally break into the entirety of the base and perhaps secure the win?
There's a teleport. Minitroupax is coming in. They're waiting for a real base race, but it's going to be 1v4 right now. Can ROCCAT even back it away? Nobody knows how this is going to end right now. This is insane. They're going to try to keep taking out the base. They're forcing the fight. Put the camera back into the ROCCAT base right now. We've got the longest game of the split, and Minitroupax is looking to do it all alone. Oh, I can't believe it. One more hit is going to do it, and they're just going to lock the game. Vitality standing true.
The relief on his face. The TP play he used to surprise Schalke comes in again to end the game.
And that is why Unsealed Spellbook is a hell of a road to take. But Vitality, man, to weather that storm, ROCCAT's insane play.
Vitality, yes, they got the win, but I feel ROCCAT deserves so much praise. They played some fantastic League of Legends. That was a great game.
And smiles on the ROCCAT members' faces. They know that that could have gone either way, and that late game, the deck was stacked against them, but boy, did they give Vitality a hell of a run for their money.
Oh, they did. They were so close. They found a favorable fight. The death timers were so long for Cabo. Oh, the frustration this team must be feeling. They just couldn't get back to base. They didn't have any more TPs. They could not stop Minitroupax. And it was just mind games after mind games from both teams. The steals from Memento. 68 minutes, 55 seconds. New record here in the European LCS. have this tendency of getting all the long games, Pyra.
As something about you, Vedius. I don't know what it is, but both these teams, I mean, League of Legends is a zero-sum game. You hit that Nexus, you win the game, but oh man, I feel like both teams deserved it.
800 CS onto Minitroupax.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's going to do wonders for my fantasy score.
Oh, yeah. He's on my team too, actually. Good thing we're in different leagues.
But I'm sure fantasy players will be pretty happy with that. But you just have to give praise to both teams. Like, Vitality played to their win conditions. They recognized, okay, we got to wait for 3 items. Once the Baron spawns, we can force fights around the objective. That will be it. ROCCAT will have to come to us, but then ROCCAT get the steal. And you think, okay, it was luck. Sure, great steal from Memento, good job. But then he does it again. And then they use the Baron so well both times, but they just can't quite break into the base due to Vitality playing so well in terms of the defense. But ROCCAT with their unique strategies in the late game, finding an actually favorable fight, and then coming so close to winning. But then the TP from Troupax, able to secure the win for Vitality.
I feel like once we got past like the 70-minute mark, both teams kind of invented their own win conditions. All bets are off at that point, and it all comes down to just neither team wanted to fully commit so many times that when it finally did happen, I don't think anyone believed it. And Troupax just like, I got this, I'm going. We got to see that one again, man. The final play of the game, it was incredible.
So we're going to get a replay. So let's have a look. Troupax TP's in, and you want to keep your eyes on the back timers for the rest of ROCCAT because they just want to get back to base. Blanc thinks that he's good, and Jiizuke recognizes, okay, I've got to stop this. He uses the maximum range and is even able to keep himself alive to buy enough time for his AD carry. Gilius doing the same thing on the other end. The 2-man unit holding up 5 buys enough time to allow Minitroupax to just get through the base and end the game. Great team effort there at the very end for Vitality. And that is not the first time we've seen Vitality just say, hit the Nexus, hit the Nexus, hit the Nexus, hit the Nexus.
Even Jiizuke was worn out. He kind of gets up out of his chair really slowly to hug Troupax that time. How many games do you see end because the AD carry back doors?
Yeah.
I guess every door was a front door at that point. But
I mean, you never really know
anymore.
what's going to happen with this Vitality team. They come up with so many crazy strats, but
I love it.
Well played to both teams. That was a fantastic game. I really enjoyed it. Good job, Pyra.
You as well, Vedius. We got one more, by the way. We got a match of the week coming up. But hold on, before we get into it, right now we've got a race for the player of the game between Cabochard, Minitroupax, and Jiizuke. And I think I might have a preference. We want to know who you guys think deserve the win. Head over to @LOEsports on Twitter. Give us your choice in the poll. And we'll announce it, of course, after this. But
my vote is Gilius for giving away all those Barons that we have an insanely exciting game.
We definitely did. Now, for more on Vitality's victory, let's head over to Laura, who's sitting down with Cabochard and Minitroupax.
Thank you very much, Pyra. I'm standing here with Minitroupax and Cabochard after a rather surprising win, I think, against ROCCAT. Guys, congratulations, first and foremost. Cabochard, you seemed a little less confident than you used to be the weeks before that. What happened in your team?
Yeah, definitely. I think our macro game today was really not on point. We didn't really know what to do, like from early game to the end, actually, and it ended up being like a backdoor, like usually. So, yeah, I'm pretty disappointed in the way we played actually today.
Yeah, you guys seem to play and to rely a lot on confidence. What happens when this confidence disappears, Minitroupax?
When did it disappear?
So it didn't disappear.
We're still the most confident team in European LCS, by far. But, I mean, this game wasn't the greatest ever, but in my defense, we just wanted to go late game because we are the team that closes the game faster. So we wanted to prove that we can also late game, and we've proven.
And can you walk me through the last stages of the game with the base race? What did you guys decide to do that, and how did you do it?
I mean, we watch a lot of LCK, and LCK are always 1-hour games, and they are defending with ZZ Portal. So we basically ZZ Portal, and we're chilling out until enemy does mistakes, because that's the only play we had. They did a mistake, we got Elder, we got Baron. After that, we knew we could take over the map. We just got 2 inhibitors, but then unfortunately we got caught. But I switched to TP, and I'm like, these guys are going to try to end. I'm just going to TP it up, just all them out. They try to end, I TP it up, then my team choose suicides, so they cannot recall.
Yeah, really impressive, and it seems to have worked really well for you. Cabochard, last question. You're the only remaining member of Vitality from last year. How is it different this year, playing with rookies, and you guys are performing so well?
I mean, it's completely different, like from the communication to actually the way we play. I think we proved the 3 first week that we can actually play like really confident and close out games. And yeah, it's a real pleasure to play with those rookies.
Well, Thank you very much. Minitroupax, you've been chosen as player of the game in this series. How are you feeling about it?
I'm glad they didn't give it to Jiizuke once again.
Well, thank you very much, guys, for joining me now, and congratulations again. So now we're going to send it over to break, and after the break, it's going to be Misfits against Giants. Match of the week, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Goes to Glacial Prison. He is going to find Jack.